Now, these are the few things you should be talking about, which I've just mentioned: academic achievements, your 10, 12 grades, your overall CGPA, and current year. Right now, reverse chronological order. This is the first thing I started with. Right, you talk about internships, you talk about specific details, and most importantly, do not write more than 3 to 4 points. Okay, 3 to 4 points is sufficient to justify that you've interned at some place for at least 1 month. If you've interned for more than 2 to 3 months, then you can write max 6 to 7 points. There are some colleges, and I know the names of those colleges also, where the CV format says that you should write a paragraph. Please, please, please do not write a paragraph. देखो, आप कोई चीज प्रोडक्ट खरीदने जाते हो, आप Amazon पे भी जब उसका डिटेल्स देखते हो, राइट? सो देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड प्रोडक्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन रिटन, एंड उसके नीचे कुछ कुछ पॉइंटर्स होते हैं, एंड देन यू गो टू द रिव्यूज ऑफ द कस्टमर वेयर दे हैव गिवन वन पॉइंटर और पॉइंटर वाइज रिव्यूज. You will always prefer reading the summary over the entire text, paragraph text, right? The same thing applies to a CV also. क्या होता है कि there is nothing wrong. Like, I'm not saying writing in a paragraph is wrong. What I'm saying is that if you write in pointers, you write the summary. It becomes easier for the other person to comprehend. Firstly, secondly, what happens is if you've researched upon more than one area of law, okay, more than one subject, then when you write in a paragraph format, it seems as if you're talking about the same thing. Like, you could have done your research on banking law, arbitration law, and other subjects, right? But if you write everything in one single paragraph, it seems as if it is related to that particular research only, right? However, if you write in multiple pointers, you are able to convey to the other person that I have researched on more than one subject. Okay, I have the CVs, but since those CVs are college brand specific, so I'll not be showing you those CVs right now. However, like, you guys might have understood which are these colleges, and if your college is also having similar format, try avoiding that when you're applying individually. Okay, now, when you've done, say, there are 2 to 3 different kinds of students. One is who's done at least 15 kind of internships and is not able to fit in 2 pages. The other person is who's not done anything. The third person is who has done a mix of everything. Okay, now, if you've done more than 15 internships, try to streamline based on the based on the next application you're applying for. Okay, if you have somebody who hasn't done anything, अभी तक क्या करो, प्लीज करना शुरू कर दो. ठीक है, इफ यू हैवंट डन, स्टार्ट विद एन इंडिपेंडेंट लॉयर इन योर nearby locality, or you can work with legal aid services, or you can start with NGOs or smaller startups. Okay, and you do some basic work with them, learn with them. For example, NGO internships are so underrated. However, I'll tell you, like, I was working with this NGO in Dehradun. It used to be a student run group. I'm a part of it. It's called Making a Difference by Being the Difference. So it's different from MAD Bangalore. So this group of Dehradun MAD, now I used to work with them, and we used to do different kinds of work. There I learned how to draft my first RTI, and I have drafted so many of them after that. Then we used to give a lot of press conferences. There I learned how to write newspaper press releases. Then I was also I also presented a group before the secretariat office for the RTI appeal. Right, so these are the different kind of legal work you can learn with smaller groups also. My batchmates have interned with PUCL. PUCL is very famous for offering internships to law students, both PUCL Delhi and Rajasthan. Now, these people have been a part of strikes or dharnas, which they did, and they got to learn new things from there, right? So don't, if you're in your first year or second year, if you haven't started anything, you can always start with NGOs. Because during my law firm interview also, they asked me, it was written in my CV, because we had received an award from HSF, and they asked me, what is this NGO about, what is this award? And we had a good conversation, right? So at times when you're having a serious conversation during your interview, and suddenly someone comes up with a thing which you are familiar with, it becomes easier for you to comfort yourself, and uske baad fir se aap matlab koi heavy question पूछते हो तो easily balance हो जाता है, right? So, like, if you haven't done internships, start with smaller groups, smaller startups, smaller NGOs. Legal aid clinics हर city में होते हैं, you can join them. If you've done decent number of internships, good enough, you'll be able to fit it in 2 pages. If you've done 14, 15 internships so far, then try to fit it in 2 pages, only with respect to the other person, what the other person would be interested in. Okay, सारा 15 का 15 दिखाने की जरूरत नहीं है, because there is something I learned during my law firm job, which was never overcommit and underperform. Always undercommit and overperform. That will always give a better impression. For example, if you say I can do these 3 things, then you can, like, if you know I can do 5 things, you say I can do 3. and then you offer them 5, they'll always be happy. But if you say I can do 5 and you can't even do 3 properly, then it will have a very, very bad impact about. Same thing applies here also. In your CV, if you try to overcommit too much, what happens is during the interview, you are giving the other person, like आप थाली पे सजा के दे रहे हो उनको, the opportunity to ask you questions from anywhere. Okay, if you say like I keep reviewing so many CVs, so I see somebody talking about Arbitration Companies Act, this thing IPR, your banking and finance, and your technology, or anything else under one topic only, or constitution, right? Now imagine one person only talking about constitution, and there's so much we can ask from that person during the interview. However, if you mention these 5 subjects in one CV, that is the amount of scope you've increased for the other person to ask you questions. तो मेरे जैसा अगर बंदा होगा जो इंटरव्यू ले रहा होगा, बहुत मजे लेगा, मतलब फिर तो आई विल आस्क यू क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम एनीवेयर, लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर. आई विल आस्क यू कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस ऑफ 2 different laws which you are trying to mention, which are not correlated. Okay, it could be possible that, for example, I was working in the projects team. Now, in projects, arbitration, contracts, and labor law was always overlapping. And in different fields, different subjects always overlap. So, if you're talking about overlapping subjects, then it is fine, because you would know unka comparative analysis that at what place do these two laws overlap, right? But if you're not aware of, and you're trying to, like, because you worked during the internship with multiple teams where there was no link between your different kinds of work you did, and then you try to like overcome it, that I know all of this, the other person will be asking you questions from all those things. Okay, so that's why restrict your CV, like always modify your CV based on the interests of the other person. Okay, and not write more than 3 to 4 points, right? Let's go to the next one. Okay, now these are the internships, right? So in my CV format, if you ask me, I'll give you, usme ye comments already honge. So in case you guys are not able to zoom in, you'll get this thing slide. Now internships I've already discussed. See, like this. Next mistake you guys commit is your grammatical errors. Okay, grammar and tense, दो चीजें ऐसी हैं जो lawyers को सबसे ज्यादा चुभती हैं. If you're applying for an internship interview, please review your document at least 10 times, because when you will be working in a firm, you will be drafting due diligence reports up to 7 to 800 pages. Okay, at that point of time, you will not have time to review your 800-page document in one go. And at that point of time, nobody wants to afford a person who gives a client a report which has grammatical errors. Therefore, like in law firms, one document gets reviewed at least 5 to 10 times by different people. Okay, like when I used to draft something, I used to reread it thrice, then I used to send it across to my colleague, who used to reread it once or twice, give their comments on it, and then it will come back to me. I'll make the changes, and then I'll send it to my associate partner. Then associate partner will add his pointers, that these are the grammatical errors or tense related errors you've committed, revisit them and make changes accordingly. And then we used to review it again, then it used to go to the partner, right? And finally it used to go to the client. So these are the different stages in which we review a document. So as law students, सबसे पहले अगर आपको कुछ भी नहीं आता है, दो चीजें अपनी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग करो. एक अपनी रिसर्च स्किल्स, एंड सेकेंडली व्हाटएवर डॉक्यूमेंट यू आर सेंडिंग, उसमें कोई भी ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स ना हो, उसको प्रूफ रीड करने की आदत अभी से डाल दो. ठीक है, योर CV is just 2 pages, your due diligence report will be for 700 pages, right? For example, in this CV, what I had intentionally written this. The first point I wrote researched upon, and second point was research on, right? तो ये मैंने grammatical error जानबूझकर छोड़ा था. यहाँ पे आप देखोगे second and third point पे, just to catch how many students are actually focusing and proofreading their documents. And trust me, 70 to 80% of the students send me this document just like that. वो उसमें अपने changes कर देते हैं, and language they keep the same. Right? These are the small mistakes you guys have to catch, because as lawyers, that is the amount of depth you have to look into in any particular document. Okay, so ye mistakes mat karna. Secondly, always talk in past tense, do not talk in present tense. A lot of you say that researching upon or research upon. Okay, researching upon can only be used when you are working on a moot court memorial or a paper publication which you are currently working upon. But these are the internships you are talking about which you've already completed in the past. So always talk in the past tense. Researched upon. See, this is the example I was saying, that this is the level of specification your CV should be talking about. Research on, not saying, just saying like this person is not just saying that I researched on consumer law. What she's saying is research upon the scope of deficiency in service under the Consumer Protection Act 1986. Now she's made it so specific that when the other person would want to ask her questions, the first impression would be, okay, tell me what is the definition of deficiency in service under consumer law, right? So the first question will be L1 level 1, which is a direct question coming out from whatever you've offered to the other person that I am aware of, right? However, if she would have written research on consumer law, the person could have asked anything. If I would be there, I would have simply asked, tell me under which section do we send notices under the consumer law, right? So that's the mistake you want to avoid. You don't want to take the other person, your interview, to level 2 or level 3 of the interview directly, right? Similarly, look at the second point: research on the grounds available for setting aside of the arbitral award for mistakes in calculation, non-application of mind, and insufficiency of quantum of damages awarded by the arbitral tribunal under the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. This is the amount of specification your CV should be talking about. Let's go to the next one: research regarding the scope of territorial jurisdiction of a writ court in land acquisition cases under the Civil Code of CPC 1908. Right? So this is how your internship application should be talking about your your CV should be talking about your previous internship experience. Let's go to the next. She says she interned with HCL. This is just a draft CV, guys. There is no person called Kritika Khanna who's done these internships. We've just created a model CV for you. Okay, so here she's talking about researched and presented on the newly introduced Code of Wages Act 2019, like whenever she would have done the internship, researched on some wage board act, I don't know what that thing is, and then prepared a file on ICANN and NIXI to lodge complaints by cyber squatting. So probably there's something, these concepts might be there in technology I'm not aware of. So
This is an online infringement of IP, domain squatting.
Right. So these are the kind of specific details she's given. Now the other person who would be aware of these things can directly ask her questions from there. Right? Now
I have a question, Sammanika.
yeah.
No offense at any Kritika Khanna, but is the Kritika Khanna a model candidate or not a model candidate? Just to clarify what people may be thinking.
No, this is just a model CV. Like
Okay,
there would
this
be
is a
one
model CV.
Kritika and there would be one some Khanna. We combined both the names.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, next thing which I advise to Law Seeker students is, whoever comes to me for mentorship is, I always tell them, make sure your CV is in the ratio of 70 to 30. Now, what is the 70-30 ratio? 70-30 is, say for example, if you're interested in more than one subject, or you have had diverse experience in multiple subjects and you're not able to streamline, right? So while applying for internship, this should be your approach. That's 70. If you're applying for an IPR internship, then 70% of your CV should talk about what skill sets or knowledge do you have related to that particular subject, say IPR, right? And 30% should be anything else you've done. So, for example, if I'm applying for a corp internship and I've done litigation internships as well in the past, then 70% of my CV should be emphasizing upon the different kind of work I've done related to corporate law, and 30% I can talk about my litigation internship or any other kind of internship. Okay, so when you have your rough CV ready in front of you, and then you're modifying and creating a specific CV, this is the ratio you can use. Like I have one student, she is one of the toppers of one of the NLUs, top 3 candidates. Now she came to me and she said, Samanaka, I'm interested in both ADR and IPR, and I've done a lot of good work in both the sectors. Like she had written n number of papers and moot courts, and she was doing both her courses also. So she said, how do I streamline? I told her the same thing. Don't try to like mix both the things in the same CV. Have 2 separate CVs. One CV which has 70% of IPR and 30% of ADR or anything else, and the other CV which has 70% of ADR and 30% of IPR or any other stuff which you've done. And then when you're applying for IPR internships, send your 70% IPR CV, and when you're applying for ADR opportunities, send the CV which has 30% of ADR related information. That makes it more easier for the other person to understand that what are the strong skill sets you have. But if you try to become a jack of all trades, you guys know that COVID is here. lot of people have lost their jobs, and right now everyone wants to claim themselves to be a jack of all trades, right? So इससे बढ़िया आप एक मास्टर बन जाओ किसी भी एक पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट में, that will be easier for the other person to shortlist. Because अगर कोई IPR lawyer होगा, उसको IPR junior ज़्यादा preferable होगा rather than somebody who can do everything. Of course they would like somebody who can do everything, but majority of IPR work they should be aware of.